We're going to talk about one of the most legendary people ever who passed away way too young. Welcome to the show.
Oh, we gotta do the pictures.
So, please don't make me.
For this week's Themes to be Heard, we decided to talk about Linkin Park's 2004 music video for Breaking the Habit. This was from their second album, Meteora. It was the fifth and final single from the album, and the fifth consecutive single from Meteora to reach number 1 on the Billboard Modern Rock Tracks chart.
That album was amazing. It was huge, and it was...
Yeah.
And especially as a follow-up to Hybrid Theory. Like, after Hybrid Theory, after an album as big as Hybrid Theory, a lot of bands would have a hard time with that sophomore slump. Linkin Park was a powerhouse, and they were brothers. They all got along. They loved each other, and they all had very different talents. So, I love this album. I love this era of Linkin Park. I'm sorry if I interrupted you.
Yes, you did.
I'm sorry.
So Breaking the Habit was the... I have to keep him in line sometimes because he loves to talk. Breaking the Habit was the third single from Meteora to reach number 1 on the mainstream rock tracks chart. It peaked at number 20 on the Billboard Hot 100 and is certified gold. But yeah, it's just crazy to go back and look now because I think Linkin Park really broke big when I was like early on in high school. So I still remember the first time I saw the One Step Closer music video.
Oh man.
And this is gonna sound kind of weird, but I grew up loving the comic Calvin and Hobbes. I adored that comic, and Calvin the little boy has like this blonde spiky hair. So I kind of thought of that when I first saw Chester Bennington in that music video. I don't know why, but for Hybrid Theory he had
red.
like, I don't think so. I think it was like bleached blonde, but I don't know why. I've never forgotten that, but I remember when they broke big, and then it just seemed like they were huge for the longest time. Like they had more albums come out, and they were still like the biggest band. I even saw them live.
I saw them live.
Linkin Park put together this Project Revolution like rock tour. So one year I went, and they had like My Chemical Romance, Placebo, I think Taking Back Sunday. I've seen Taking Back Sunday like 4 times live, but
it was my band right here.
Yeah, but yeah, Linkin Park were like the big... Linkin Park and My Chemical Romance were like the big headliners of this tour, but then they had that collaboration album with Jay-Z, and it just seemed like they kept getting bigger and bigger, and then just...
Which that was supposed to be part of a series that MTV did where they took 2 artists and they like swapped music for lyrics kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then they did one first before Linkin Park and Jay-Z, and it didn't really do well. And then they did the Linkin Park and Jay-Z one, and it was huge because it was awesome. And the third one disappeared. I don't even remember who it was, but it just disappeared because like after one that's so perfect, what do you even do? You know?
Yeah, like I even remember like Motley Crue re-recorded Home Sweet Home with Chester Bennington on vocals. Like he just started like popping up, and then of course we all know what happened, and I couldn't believe it when it happened. It was like watching someone that was like maybe not like, because I wasn't like the biggest Linkin Park fan, but they were so big, like how could you not be aware of them? And then they hit at such a like a pivotal time in life too, where like you can remember the first time you heard of them, and I don't know, that was just, it was so sad. And then even after, I believe, earlier recordings of a previous band he was in, like, came out. I still can't believe it.
But you have to remember, he was only 16 or 17 when Hybrid Theory came out.
He was that young?
He was baby. Everybody else in the band was a little bit older, but yeah, I listened to not only Linkin Park but all of the offshoots. So like I listened to Mr. Han's solo albums. I listened to the Executioners.
Oh, I remember them.
Fort Minor. I had Fort Minor's album.
Oh gosh, that one song.
Okay,
was
that one
everywhere.
Right, that one song got played to death, but the rest of the album was actually not bad also. And then Mike Shinoda had solo work too. So Linkin Park started almost this like their own. They get put in the nu metal realm, but they kind of started their own thing where there was a DJ, there was scratching, there was some electronic elements. There was rapping and screaming, but also there was melody. Because a lot of what nu metal doesn't have that Linkin Park had is actually really pretty melodies, and I believe it's because Chester grew up idolizing Chris Cornell, which
that makes the whole story even more depressing because, as we know, Chris Cornell died, and then Chester performed at his funeral, and then not long after. So, I don't know, it's hard to believe sometimes.
Yeah. If you look now at young rock artists that are coming out, there is no small minority that name Chester Bennington as one of their main influences. Because we're talking about all the music they made, but his individual talent was insane. He had a beautiful singing voice. He had this tone when he screamed that didn't sound angry. A lot of times when you hear scream, like you hear songs like One Step Closer and Crawl, but then you listen to a song like One Step Closer is his angry, but then you hear a song like Crawling, and when he's screaming, he almost sounds sad, like he's crying.
Yeah.
Which you hear in this. One Step Closer. Who drew this? Did you get that?
Okay, so this was directed by Joe Hahn, who, of course, is a member of Linkin Park.
Love me, Mr. Hahn. I do. He has a solo song on on the Hybrid Theory album where it's just him scratching and then adding loops and stuff. I used to love it.
But the music video for Breaking the Habit was animated by Studio Gonzo. A lot of the...
Oh, Gonzo. You know what else they drew that we love?
It's very similar to the animation in Kill Bill.
Well, this was actually... The Studio Gonzo actually also drew Afro Samurai.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so... this song, a lot of people think this song was about Chester Bennington's personal struggle with addiction, but Mike Shinoda actually began writing the song before he ever met Chester. He had another friend who was struggling with drug addiction. There is an instrumental version of this song that was released on the Underground 9.0 fan club. It's a demo track called Drawing. So we have this animated video. There's also another, a second version where it's just the band performing in the studio. I might have gotten a photo of that one, but
which a lot of this I feel like is rotoscoped.
It is.
Like that looks like the performance shots.
The performance scenes are
if you're not
rotoscoped.
if you're not familiar with rotoscoping, it's actually one of the coolest things in movies, and I wish if I could make a movie I could incorporate rotoscoping.
It just sounds like it would be fun to do.
So you record live action footage, and then you put it up, and then you draw the actual scene frame by frame over the live footage. So you take the outline of the actual actors and turn it into something more.
Yeah.
Which actually got brought to the world's attention by legendary director Ralph Bakshi. So movies like Wizards and Tom the Cat and things like that.
Or like think of A Scanner Darkly.
Oh man. Oh, that's good. That's a scene again. Stay tuned. Because I don't remember. I remember watching it and not understanding it, but I may have been too young.
Yeah, same here.
A lot.
I feel like I was just gonna say something else and I don't remember.
There's a lot of work on 300 that was rotoscoped. Also, we just watched a video done by.
That's what I was gonna talk
Go
about.
Go ahead.
There was a video game, a horror themed video game called Faith that came out, and like the cut scenes and stuff. The developer, I forget what name he goes by. It was like
Erdorf.
Yes, because that was the first word he ever spoke. But Erdorf, like just recorded video of himself like in his room in front of his computer, and he didn't even have a tablet or anything, so he had to draw over his own figure with like a mouse. And I can't even imagine doing that, but rotoscoping is something that's always fascinated me. It's something I've always wanted to try.
Which you've never seen movies like Fire and Ice. Have you ever seen Wizards?
No.
So Fire and Ice and Wizards and Tom the Cat.
I've seen like heavy metal.
American Pop. You'd love American Pop. Which, now that we brought that up, we have to reference. Shout out to Cecil Trachtenberg at Good Bad Flicks. Or Good, yeah. So if you like our channel, if you like movie channels, Good Bad Flicks, he's super influential in the movie YouTube world. He's been on all of the In Search of movie.
Darkness.
He's been on In Search of Darkness, and he's going to be on In Search of Tomorrow. So shout out to Cecil, because he actually helped us. Remember when we first started the show, I had just took a shot in the dark and messaged him on Facebook, and he actually messaged me back with like really good advice.
Yeah. I didn't know he had a Twitch channel. We should look for
We gotta
him.
find Cecil.
He plays a lot of like scary games on
indie.
Twitch. So.
Yeah, he likes indie.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we get a lot of different flashes of stories. We see.
It starts, so we see like Chester's body on the ground because he has leapt from the top of this building, but basically, and then it's like the
we
rest
see his
of the
spirit
video
leave
him,
and enter this building and see all these different stories that are happening inside of the building.
And it's like things start getting reversed. Like you have the girl who wrote "I am nothing" on a piece of paper, and then it kind of just like erases.
Well,
itself.
It shows her. She starts to kill herself. She slits her wrist.
Yeah.
And what we see, it says "I am nothing," and then we see her wipe the blood on it. And then we see the guy open the door and the lady throw tomatoes at him. We see the end of every story first. What's the third? There's a third one too. Shoot! I blanked on it. But we see the ends of these stories, and then as the spirit as we know it leaves the building, we see those stories in reverse.
Yeah, but then at the same time too, you're getting like these quick flashes of like Chester singing or the band performing. It's really like intricately done, like all the animation and like the quick flashes and stuff like that. Like there's a lot that goes on in this music video, but it was, knowing the circumstances of like real life events and stuff like that, this was like a hard music video to go back and watch. I still have kind of a hard time, like, even
that's why I'm having a hard time talking about
them.
it.
Like, because another I think like this music video is great, but I think my favorite Linkin Park music video is Faint. Like, just the way they shot that, because it's a live performance video, but it's all shot from like their backs, like looking onto the audience. But it's kind of like Anton Yelchin for me. I still have a very hard time watching movies with him, and it's like the same with Chester Bennington. It's kind of like,
and then he'll pop up and with Chester and Anton both, we'll just be doing something, and then somebody like that'll pop up, and we're like, oh, because what was just 2 years ago or so, we started watching this really cool Jim Jarmusch film called Only Lovers Left Alive, and we're having a lot of fun with it. It's a definitely Jarmusch film. And Anton Yelchin just pops up. We didn't know he was in the movie. Oh, hey, Mark.
Hi, Mark.
So, Marky
Thanks
Mark.
for stopping by.
Yep, here from the Marky Mark and Matty Ice podcast.
Yep, which you'll be on tomorrow night, right? The last time you came in and we were plugging your show, and then we realized you guys weren't even on that night.
So,
but
generally,
sorry.
Mondays, 10 o'clock, Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. Marky Mark and Matty Ice podcast. They're hilarious. We love them.
Yes.
So, we see the spirit come back out of the building. Oh, the award show tomorrow!
Show. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Are you guys gonna dress up? That would be fun. That would be fun if everyone could dress up and, like...
I know.
Is that like a Discord thing you have to do? Or like...
I wish. I'd show up to your house in a Canadian tuxedo.
I watch a lot of, like, 80s... dance party streams on Twitch, and like they always have people like showing up on the monitors like dancing at their own homes, and it's like, how do you do that?
We wish we could do that.
Yes, dressing up, because that would be a fun thing to do.
I know. I'm glad. Okay, can I just say, Mark, I'm glad you popped in, because this is the most depressing episode we've ever done.
This has been very sad.
But to get back to the story, so I don't have to talk about it for very much longer, you see the spirit come back out of the building and back into, and the timeline keeps going in reverse. So the spirit comes out, it goes back into Chester, and then it goes back to the top of the building, and we see the rotoscoped performance, which this rotoscope performance scene by Linkin Park is so cool. Because we see all the things of them that make them recognizable. I forget the guitar player's name, but he was always wearing the big headphones.
Yeah.
And I think it's because he had to hear himself playing over the rest of the music, so he'd rather just straight input himself to his guitar. He'd rather have straight out to his ears. And then Mr. Mike Shinoda is playing a keyboard. This is a point where, yes, we all know that Chester was having a really hard time with alcoholism. But he was also making some of his best music. So we get the really cool rotoscope performance scene, and we see how all of the storylines that were shown play out in reverse. If you can watch it, we suggest, because this is one that's kind of been... This is the point of this segment is videos that have been forgotten, that have been lost to time, that are still just so amazing. So Linkin Park's Breaking the Habit.
Yep.
Which actually, I might put 2 Linkin Park songs in here just so I can put that Mr. Han song in here.
Oh, yeah. That would be cool.
Yeah. Which brings me to, which reminds me, if you miss our show, or you like our show and you want a little extra content, if you listen to us on Spotify, I can actually add songs right into the middle of the episode, which I do in every episode.
That makes it fun.
There's like 3 or 4 songs that pull straight off Spotify right in the middle of our episodes if you listen there. So,